Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, review, tell a friend. Help the show out on Apple Podcasts. Give us those reviews and those ratings and all that jazz. Uh, Post some honest feedback. If you don't enjoy the show, give me some tips how to improve it. We all need tips. So, yeah, I got a great guest today. I'm very excited. You've seen her in The Last Starfighter, Night of the Comet, and Weekend at Bernie's. The great Catherine Mary Stewart will be here via Zoom, and it's going to be awesome. I got a lot of questions, mostly from my dad on this one. My dad was like extremely jealous that I was interviewing you, and I was like, oh, well. And, it's going to be fun. All right. Enjoy Reza Rifts with Catherine Mary Stewart. Coming up next. Hi, Catherine Mary Stewart.
Hello.
How
Hello,
are
Reza
you?
Rifts.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for taking some time. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I was just looking at some of your shows. Betsy Russell, who we were early on back in the early 80s. We did a acting class together, and
Oh,
she was so young and so cute. And the boys, in the class were just like, this is before she did anything. So
right.
not a huge surprise when she was really successful. And Robert Hayes.
Oh, I love
You did a
Robert
couple of
Hayes.
I
Yeah.
adore Bob. He's a friend of mine. We worked together years and years ago, and maybe we'll be working together again soon. So, but that's
Oh,
news that I
are you,
know.
are you going to do Homeward Bound 4?
That's not what was slated, but I mean, I'm up for anything, frankly.
He was so great because I was interviewing him and
Yeah.
uh I mean, I'm not trying to diss Homeward Bound, but he liked that more than Airplane. And I was just
No
like
kidding.
I was
Aw.
like "Oh." So
Yeah, an airplane's supposed to be like the funniest movie ever or something like that. It's like rated number one comedy ever or something.
yeah, but Robert Hayes liked Homeward Bound more. I was like, "Oh." So it kind of threw me
Yeah,
off, you know?
Yeah. He's a good down to earth guy.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. But before we start, I wanted to ask you, is it easier for you to be interviewed by like normal folks or by celebrities? Like which one do you prefer?
Interviewed by?
Yeah.
Well, what do you consider yourself?
Oh, I'm a celebrity because
Oh, there you go.
I do stand-up comedy and podcasting and like I'm Googleable and
Googleable. Say
and
that
the
four
yeah,
times fast.
yeah. And then the internet lies about my net worth. It says I'm worth $3 million, which I'm not. But
I love that, don't you? I've gotten one of those quotes too, and I'm like, excellent, I'm doing pretty well.
I was like, if I was worth $3 million, I don't think I'd be living with my parents. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like that. But what I'm saying is because most people, like normal folks, you know what I mean? They're all fanny or whatever. But like celebrity to celebrity, it's like, hey, we're on the same ground. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's having that fan element is fine. I mean, most podcasts that I do, they are excited that they're getting to interview me and everything, but they usually, have really interesting questions and are pretty down to earth and are sort of used to interviewing people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll let you know at the end of this one since you're a celebrity.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say if you prefer fans, I could be. Oh my god, I love doing Weekend at Bernie's.
You know what? I can go either way.
Oh, okay, cool. But I wanted to ask you, like, now, I feel like ever since COVID, interviews are always
Mhm.
like over the internet. Because remember back in the day where you would go in a studio or a radio station and, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you don't. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that's made it so much more accessible. This podcast thing and being able to Zoom or whatever it is we're doing, and I like that. I feel like it gets me out there more, and I've never had a bad experience doing a podcast, and I really kind of enjoy doing them. So I'm really happy that that was one of the side effects of COVID, and so many of the side effects of COVID are not as good.
Right.
For instance, auditioning and things like that. That's
Oh,
all
it's terrible.
become online, and it's like, how do you? I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna cast somebody in a movie, you should be in the room with them so you know what they're like, as
Yeah.
opposed to just like reading some lines. And also, as an actor, you want some feedback in an audition because you
Oh, yeah.
make choices, right? You get this role, you read the script if you even get a script, and you make choices. And you used to be able to go in and meet the people, which I love doing, and then they would give you feedback on, well, that was a great choice or whatever. They're usually very positive and upbeat, but try it this way. And it just being in the room, to me, I feel like gave me so much more opportunity to not only communicate with the people involved, but my chances were better of getting a role. And there weren't as many people. I mean, in this case, it's great that you can do lots and lots of interviews and podcasts and things. But in that case, where they're just recording innumerable people, they're
Right.
literally just like flicking through the little thumbnails of everybody, and it's just I hate it. I hate it.
You also
But
don't
the
know if your audition's getting a fair look because there's so
exactly.
there's so much where, like, if you go to a room, if they like it or not, they have to like pay,
I
give you.
know.
So
They have to give you the time, and they have to, yeah, spend time with people, so they can't actually read as many people, which, I guess I mean, the positive side for them is that they can look at zillions of people, and also they don't have to rent out space. They don't have to rent out some person to run a camera. We pay to audition now.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't because I gave up acting a long time ago, but
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I get it. It's
It's crazy. It's
yeah,
it's really crazy, and yeah, yeah, I could go on about it, but whatever. You do
but
what you have to do.
I think
And
this
the
is
younger generation, by the way, just to end on this note,
right.
think is the only thing they know. So they sort of have an opposite feeling about it. They think, well, I could do 3 or 4 takes, and I could choose which one I want, and blah blah blah. Anyway, it's
Yeah.
probably never going to go back.
That's true. But I wanted to, I think this is very interesting because I wanted to ask you, have you ever like had like such a bad audition that you thought, okay, I'm not gonna get the part, and then you got the part, and you're like, what?
That happened to me on Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh my God, tell us this amazing
I
story.
know. So I was very excited to read for this pretty big movie at the time. I'd done like Last Starfighter, Night of the Comet, and a few other movies. But this was kind of like a bigger one for me. And also, Andrew McCarthy was going to be in it. And he was, of course, a Brat Pack kind of guy. And Jonathan Silverman and Ted Kotcheff, the director. I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
I went in, and it was just Jonathan Silverman, me, and Ted Kotcheff, the director, and they had me read the scene with John, and I feel like I really screwed it up. I was
really.
just like, I cannot believe this. I was, I guess, a little nervous, and we ended up mostly just talking, and it was sort of like, how they talk about chemistry interviews and stuff like that to see if the people get. But I left, and I immediately called my manager. I said, fuck this up. Please, please ask them to have me back. Please. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, whatever. And then like a couple of days later, they're like, "Yeah, you got it." I'm like,
Oh my god.
"What? What?" I was so happy.
Wow. I
Yeah.
when you were telling that story, you said Andrew McCarthy first, then Jonathan Silverman. I was like, oh, so you thought Andrew was gonna be Richard, huh? Huh? I don't know.
No, I didn't. I knew who was going to be cast as what. I just knew that, Andrew had, yeah, he had really established himself and he was pretty hot stuff. And Jonathan, too. I mean, we all had made, you know, I don't know, made a impact somehow, but he was probably the most significant.
Yeah. Well,
And we just did just a go back to that. We just did a Weekend at Bernie's reunion at a convention in
oh,
Lexington,
nice.
Kentucky, just recently. And we had a Q&A and stuff like that. And they were telling this story about how Andrew was actually cast as the Richard role.
Yeah.
And he decided he wanted to do the role that he ended up doing, because he just wanted to be the comedy relief, sort of the comical relief. And so that was sort of interesting that, they had it sort of switched.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that Andrew McCarthy was supposed to be Richard,
Yeah.
and like someone else like before you were cast was like in the rumor to be Glenn, and
Mhm.
he wasn't attracted to her, so he's like, oh, I want to be Larry, and
Okay.
then when you got cast, he was like, fuck, I wanted to be Richard.
Oh, oh, I like that story.
But
That's very sweet. I love
yeah, yeah.
it.
But I have a few Weekend at Bernie questions. So, like, since we're on that subject, we should just knock them out of the park. I
Let's
wanted to
do it.
ask about the planes and train scenes. Where the planes are more dangerous than trains and stuff. I wanted to ask you who directed that scene because the director was Jonathan Silverman's father.
Yeah, Ted Kotcheff played his dad when he walked into the kitchen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was a great scene. I love that scene. Andrew directed it.
Oh my
Andrew
God.
McCarthy, yeah, he sort of expressed this real interest in directing, which he's done a lot out of, in I don't know, probably the last decade or so. He's been doing quite a bit of directing, but he really wanted to direct. And so Ted said, "Well, just direct this scene." So yeah,
Oh my gosh.
isn't that funny?
That's pretty cool because it's
Yeah.
really hard to direct and act at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't in that scene. So
No, no, yeah, that's why I knew
yeah.
Ted probably didn't do it because
Oh, you didn't know that somebody else had done it. Yeah. Well, I
yeah,
mean, a lot of actors do direct as well. They sort of figure it out somehow.
yeah.
But I agree with you; it would be difficult. But I think Ted probably would have done it if Andrew hadn't stepped up and said, "Can I do this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times did you shoot that scene? Like was it
Oh, um, I remember, when I was leaving. Get what I say? I say, "No thanks, Richard," or something like that. No, or something like that. As I was
uh,
leaving, when I
goodbye,
realized he was
Richard?
just
Yeah.
goodbye, Richard.
Yeah.
I did that one over and over again. I don't know. They didn't like my delivery, or whatever, but I did. I remember doing that. I probably did it. I don't know, 2 or 3 times or something like that.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
that scene is just so classic because, like,
Mhm.
if I ever have a lady over at my house, I always say I have a butler. You know what I mean?
Well, of course you would, because it's very impressive. I think of that scene, I was a little confused that there was a butler with no shirt on, burping.
Exactly. I think that, I could totally buy it's a butler, but don't they have to have clothes on?
Yeah,
Like
you
that.
would think. You
Yeah.
would think there would be a little more decorum involved, but it did make it pretty funny. I
Uh,
love that scene. And I love Jonathan Silverman is such a doll, and he is so funny. I
yeah.
mean, he's so funny all the time. He's such
Yeah.
a sweet guy and he's so funny.
Well, one of my good friends was Bob Saget, and he like
Mhm.
loved Jonathan Silverman.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
so I think maybe they were friends or whatever, but he always talked about Jonathan Silverman like all the time. And like Weekend at Bernie's was
Hmm.
Saget's one of his favorite films. So,
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I never met him, Bob
oh,
Saget.
yeah, he was
Sadly,
great.
he seemed like a really super nice guy.
Yeah. And then I wanted to ask you about your facial expressions in Weekend at Bernie's because through the whole movie you have a lot of great facial expressions, especially with your eyes. And I want to know, is that something that you provided, or did they tell you to do it like that?
Um, I think it was basically me. I have a pretty animated face anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been so cast as the girl next door so many times, and I really have to like bring it down. um, so I think I maybe that was part of the reason I was cast. I don't know. I do have that kind of really sort of expressive face. I remember when we were doing the scene from the lighthouse and he
Yeah.
falls down the stairs and hurts himself. Again, he was so funny, and that was all, made up stuff he was just saying. And he made me laugh. And Ted loved my laugh. He
Yeah.
thought it was so great. So he really encouraged me to keep that up. And I have to say, I have no trouble laughing. So that was really fun for me.
Yeah.
Um, so I remember him commenting on how much he liked my laugh.
Well, it was a great you have a great laugh. And then
Thank you.
yeah, and then the second question I had about Weekend at Bernie's is in the final scene where I don't know this actor's name, I apologize, but it wasn't Terry. It was the guy with the gun, like the guy.
Oh, damn it.
He, I
We
want to
were
say
just
it was
talking
like
about him. Um,
he's no longer with us, but
No, he was a great guy, and he and Terry were really, really good friends when we were doing this. I'm gonna look him up because
uh,
he really deserves a mention.
yeah,
Um,
because he was great in it.
so good. I mean, he was such a great character. Talk about expressions.
Yeah, I know,
Those
right?
eyes of his,
He's
and
like,
he
I'm a
was
little
also
rusty, but it'll come back to me.
yeah, 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 yeah. And that laugh of his, I have to because we were talking about him
I want to.
at the reunion.
I'll look it up too. I want to say his name was Don something.
Yeah, we can. And he was also, by the way, a chef. He
Oh,
could learn
was he?
from you. Yes, and he loved to cook. And when we were shooting one weekend or whatever it was on a day off, um, he actually cooked a whole pig in a pit. You know how they used to dig out pits and heat it all up and then bury the pig, and it would take hours and oh my God, it's a little piglet. It's like kind of
Wow.
disgusting in a sense, but
Right.
boy, if you like pork,
Where
it
do you find a pig
was.
on the island?
I have no idea where he found this thing, but it was Don Calfa.
Don Calfa. Yeah, I
Yeah,
said I got it too. Yeah.
yeah.
But
It was
how?
delicious, but he was known. I have a Kelly Maroney who was in Night of the Comet with me, knew him as well, and talked about the same thing.
Yeah.
That he was this wonderful chef. Yeah.
But how is that scene? Because like Weekend at Bernie's, it's also one of those comedies where there's so many jokes by the words, but also the physical jokes too.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that scene, that was all physical. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was just intense. I was
Are you
like,
talking about the scene at the
where he's
lighthouse?
yeah, no, where he's trying to kill you guys, and
Don Calfa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that was hilarious and so much fun. I mean, the running back and forth and bumping into each other, and he's like, I was watching it the other day, and that scene, the part where, well, I was watching the whole movie. I think I saw some clip or something, but he's chasing us, and he gets his leg caught in like the some sort of a wire or something. I mean, it was incredible what he did physically. It was
Yeah.
incredible, like the shooting in weird directions
I thought it
and
was funny for a hitman, he's shooting really bad.
really bad, but he kept getting caught up in stuff. And he was, I think at that point, because he thought he had already killed Bernie.
Right.
And Bernie appeared to be alive. Of course, he was dead, but he appeared to be alive. So he was just like out of his mind, having to kill Bernie. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot of physical comedy for sure in that movie. And I feel like it was, it's a goofy movie, but I feel like it was kind of groundbreaking in a sense, in that it just the kind of comedy that it was. This just sort of childish kind of, boys love it. That I remember when I read the scene about where Bernie falls out the back of the power
Uh,
boat, the
yeah.
motorboat, and the boys hear this bong bong, and they don't know what it is. And I read that scene when I first had the script, and I thought, my God, that is disgusting. It's not funny. That's gross. And of course, it's one of the favorite scenes in the movie. Everybody thinks it's hilarious.
Weekend at Bernie's though, like honestly, I would say like it's really hard when people say like, "Oh, the top 5 best movies or whatever," but I would say Weekend at Bernie's is definitely in the top of the comedies. Like it's one of
Yeah.
those movies you could watch over and over again and never get bored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know. And it's referenced all the time.
yeah.
All the time in politics and I mean, I remember in Friends, it was Joey's favorite movie or something like that,
That's why I
which he
like
was sort of
Joey.
which was sort of embarrassing to him. They were having that like competition. I think it was to who got what apartment or something like that. And they were like, "What's Joey's favorite movie?" And it was Weekend at Bernie's. But over the years, it's still referenced to
Oh
this
yeah.
day.
It's great. I really hope that that's a movie they never remake because I think it's just
Yeah.
too good to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they did the 2, Weekend at Bernie's 2. Did you
Which
see that one?
I watched it, then I noticed you weren't in it, and I gave up on it.
Hello. Now you
Yeah,
are a man of taste, obviously.
that exactly. Yeah, but so what happened there? Did they offer it to you, or do you just say,
No, I heard nothing about it. I didn't even know they'd made a Weekend at Bernie's 2 until well after it was made.
oh my
Uh,
gosh,
I know, isn't that rude?
yeah, I thought Richard liked you.
I know. Anyway, that's it. Whatever. It was, and I don't think I've ever actually made it through the entire movie either. But that dance became pretty popular. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
from that movie.
So I wanted to ask you about the Apple because the Apple was your first movie, and I wanted to ask you like because you're also the star and stuff, and I know you had a dancing background and stuff, but like, did you have like anxiety when you got this part because you're like, holy shit, this whole thing is depending on me because I'm the lead, or like how did you deal with that? Like did it spook your
Yeah.
brain a little?
I think naivete really helped. I didn't,
Yeah.
I was it was so by chance that I got this thing. I mean, even the fact that I showed up at the dance audition for it was by chance. I happened to run into a couple of people from my dance class that were going to it. And I said, well, I may as well tag along. I'll skip dance today. And I went, and the director pulled me out and said, "You act?" And I said, "Sure." I was also, at that time, I was studying at a performing arts school. So I was studying acting. I'd done acting all through high school, all that junk. So it wasn't like I was completely oblivious to everything. But I mean, it was more like, okay, I'll try this.
Right.
And I'm sort of a person, I guess I'm not really a deep thinker. I kind of live moment to moment, day to day kind of a thing. I
Right.
often say I don't remember what happened yesterday, and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Um So I just sort of lived in the moment and I really had a great time. I had so much fun doing it, except for the one day that I missed my call. I didn't realize. So we shot in Berlin, and this is before the wall was down and all that stuff. And so Berlin was divided into, there was West Berlin, which was Western, and East Berlin, and then there was a wall that cut it in half. And the East Berlin was the communist side. So we're in West Berlin, and it was this weird place, just sort of culturally, where it was surrounded by East Germany and East Berlin, which is very sort of gray and quiet and suppressed. And West Berlin is just like a party town,
Really?
crazy party town, crazy.
Oh my God. Maybe I should
Um,
go to West Berlin.
well, it's different now
Oh, okay.
because
Maybe I
it's
shouldn't.
all Germany. I don't know. But there was a lot of dancers involved with this movie, and they love to go out and party and stuff. So this one night, I didn't think I had to work the next day, so I went out all night with a bunch of people. And I get back to the hotel about 7:30 in the morning, and one of the ADs is freaking out because they can't find me. And I've
Yeah.
missed my call. I'm late for my call. And he says, you had a call at 6:30 or something like that. I'm like, what? No, I didn't. I wasn't really good, I guess, at reading call sheets or something. For some reason, I didn't think I was working. And I got to this set, and they had to, I don't know if they, and also at that time they used film. So that's a very expensive process. And if you hold the production up, it's incredibly expensive. I got to the studio, and I was sitting in makeup, and the makeup person was crazily trying to cover up the bags under my eyes and stuff. I was like 20 years old. I was young.
Yeah.
And the director, Menachem Golan, came down to the makeup room, and he was so mad. He started yelling at me and saying things like, "You would never work with me again," and I'm like,
Oh my God.
"Oh man, I don't even know what that means really, but oh." He was really, really angry with me. So that was my one not so much fun day.
Right.
But in general, I had a good time. But it sure taught me a lesson.
Yeah. I taught you not to go partying in Germany, right?
Not to go partying all night long when you have a call time at 6:30 the next morning.
That's true.
Yeah.
I I wanted to ask you because you've done a lot of films where like the director is also the writer of the films and stuff, and I wanted to know like when you're acting, because it's two different things. Like, do they get like so like um I don't know, maybe this is a bad word to say, but like anal about the script, or do they let you kind of do what because they're a director too? Does that make
Um,
sense?
yeah, I understand what you're saying because most of the time the writers aren't even on the set. I know
Yeah.
that there are directors that director writers that are very, very, very specific about you
Yeah.
saying exactly the right words, exactly all. But I haven't really had that experience. I mean, you try to say, I mean, I think every director is different. Some of them really want you to stay really close to the script, and some are like, yeah, whatever. But I have worked with them, and I've never found that they were particularly, the ones that I've worked with are crazy that you get every word exactly right. I mean, I think maybe that comes along hand in hand with the fact that they're a director as well as a writer. I generally, I would say it's probably a good idea to allow the actor, if they're uncomfortable with the way something is written, or, I mean, you acted, sometimes it's written in a way and it's hard to say for you
Yeah.
specifically. I mean, if you say the same thing, but with words that are more comfortable with you, you'll get a better performance. So, I've directed a little bit myself, and I'm totally open. As a matter of fact, the first thing I ever directed was something I wrote as well, and I was just like, these words are basically a guideline. It wasn't a lot of, it was a short, it wasn't a ton of dialogue or anything. But if you, obviously we'll talk about it, but if something is more comfortable for you to say and you're still getting the same message out, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I mean, I did one movie, not to brag, but, the like, I never met the writer, right? And
Hmm.
so I was like, "Oh, this one joke's it's just not really my humor," so I was, like, talking to my co-star. I was like, "Hey, can
Hmm.
I change it?" You know, because 'cause I've never really done a movie or whatever, and he's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, just ask the director." So I asked the
Hmm.
director said, "Sure," so I changed it. The next day, the writer comes on, and he's, like, being like, mean to me. Like, I was like so that's
I
why
know.
I was like, "What?
Well,
Who's"
it's their baby, they're with writers. If that's all they do, they hope that what they write will be on the screen or
Yeah,
whatever. But I mean, it's true. It may not have been funny had you been forced to say the joke that he or she wrote, because maybe you weren't comfortable with it, so your delivery would have probably not been as great and all that other stuff.
I think I made it worse, I don't know, but you know what I mean? But you mentioned that you're starting to direct now, so, like, what event how is that adventure going? Because, like, that's totally different than acting too, you know?
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, what I love it. I love sort of having the single vision kind of a thing, and being able to really influence how something appears, I guess. I love talking to the actors. I think it's really a benefit to have been an actor if you're going to direct, because a lot of directors, either they are intimidated by actors, or they don't really understand actors, or they're much more interested in editing. There's a lot of directors who don't really direct. They just
Right.
kind of shoot something and in their mind they're editing, or something like that. Um, and I would say obviously you have an idea of how you want it to edit together, but I love working with actors and creating, just interesting scenes, I guess,
Yeah.
where sometimes it's like unexpected. If you're working with somebody who you give some freedom to or whatever, you might end up with something completely new and different and better often. And I love that. I just love it.
Are you starting to write your own stuff that you're, directing? I know you said you wrote the first one, but are you starting
I
to do
did.
yeah.
I have. I have written a couple of scripts. I wrote one on my own, and I wrote one with a partner, a writing partner that was optioned for a few years actually up in Canada, but then the option fell out, and that's sort of been put on the sidelines, sadly. But I've written, yeah, I've written a couple of things, and I, in fact, there's one that I just finished again, another draft, and um, I'm going to send it to a friend of mine who has um, directed and I've worked with before. So we'll see how that all unfolds. But yeah,
Uh,
that's exciting. It's a really simple, sweet kind of kids movie, but it's
Homeward
something.
Bound 4?
Well, I didn't want to say anything. I mean, it's a similar sort of family style movie, that's for sure. But it's something that I started writing when I was a little kid. It was like a fantasy of mine. And it's about a little girl and a horse. I'll just say that.
Oh,
And which
nice.
is every little girl, well, not every little girl, but I just love horses. I just love them.
Yeah.
And I always have. And I started writing this thing when I was about 12. And it was always like I pulled it out probably, I don't know, 15 years ago, and I was like, I am going to write a script around this idea. And I did. And then I sort of put it aside for a long time. Then I rewrote it. And put it aside again for a couple of years, and I've rewritten it again. I think it's in pretty good shape. So
Well, congratulations, because
yeah, thank
writing a
you.
script is really, it is really tough. I mean, I teach screenwriting when I'm not doing stand-up comedy, so I know it's pretty tough.
It
So,
is, it's tough, and there's a lot of sort of rules you need to follow, and it's like any kind of like writing a book or writing a script. You really have to be very, very disciplined and focused because it's intimidating, you know?
yeah,
How am I going to write 120 pages? It's like, "Mhm."
yeah,
But a friend of mine once said, just do 1 page a day, just a page a day, and you'll have
yeah.
it done at the longest. It'll be done in 120 days. As opposed to, well, I started it when I was 12, which is
So a
like
sentence a
60
day.
years ago. No, 50 years ago. What?
A sentence a day. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Or a word, not even a
uh,
sentence, probably more
uh,
like a word a day. But that was a really great sort of um, uh, just direction for me when he said that. And there's also other ways, but just to sort of give you like um, you know, what's the word I'm trying to think of? And just
I
sort of control over what you do every day. Like there's the kitchen timer. I was just listening to that. Do you know that
no.
method where you, as opposed to a page a day, you have yourself do an hour a day, and
Oh
you
yeah,
set the kitchen timer for an hour, and but within reason. I mean, if it happens to be a day that you cannot focus on it, write in a journal. Just
yeah.
ideas, anything that comes to your brain. But give yourself that time. And it's only an hour a day. I mean, you could do it from 8 to 9 in the morning, then you have the whole day or whatever time you get up. Because Lord knows we waste time.
Well, it also
um,
depends on your juices, how your brain, because everyone's brain is different. Like my juices,
yeah.
like
Mhm.
I could write a script probably in 2 weeks if I'm really flowing it, but
Yeah.
then I could just be, you know, idealist for 4 years. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Same. Are you better in the morning or in the evening writing?
I want to say I'm better at night, but
Hmm.
I also don't really write as much as I like. I mean, the fact is, I'm just a lazy writer, I guess. But
Yeah.
I do stand up at night, so like when I get home, I'm just tired. I don't want to. I want to write the
Yeah.
jokes. I want to write. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that, but I have this theory about on it. What helps me with writing is like, for example, if I'm writing a script, I will write a script with, you know, uh, Catherine Mary Stewart in mind, and so I get that character's tone. You know what
Oh.
I mean? So it goes,
Hmm.
regardless if you say yes or not, you'll do it. At least the
Yeah.
tone of the character's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm probably better in the morning because
oh,
by cocktail hour, man, forget about
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
it.
But what's your favorite horse?
Oh, what kind of horse?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think this is so
man.
fascinating.
Oh, I don't know. Horses are so interesting. And they're all so different. I did a thing where it was like a UCLA extension course where they were studying wild mustangs in the mountains of California, and I went out and did that over a weekend or something like that. That was really fun. Mustangs are just they are like I don't know, the hard workers of the horse world. They're just solid and thick, muscular, and but that oh gosh, I don't know if there's one kind that I like. I mean, then you get into the Arabians, which are so beautiful.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I'm not that picky. I like them
yeah.
all.
They're all peaceful animals, right?
I mean, they're beautiful. They're
Yeah,
just beautiful animals. And the other thing that I really sort of dig about animals in general is they know if you're uncomfortable with them. You know what I
yeah.
mean? They
They could
become
feel it.
uncomfortable
Yeah,
too. Yeah, for sure. And then they get nervous because you're nervous. The one only animal that I'm really, really nervous to be around are birds.
Why?
They, they're unpredictable to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about birds that like, oh, I don't know
Oh,
what it is.
oh my God.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That is weird. I don't like birds either, but I like
Oh, interesting.
ostriches. I think os
Ah,
and you want to hear a cool ostrich fact?
I sure do.
Okay. I apologize. This has nothing to
No,
do
no,
with your career, but
it doesn't. Are you sure?
yeah,
Go ahead.
unless I'm pitching an ostrich movie to you. But ostrich can't fly, right? But they're the
Right,
largest birds, and
right.
they're one of the stupidest animals in the whole animal kingdom. Like their brain is the size of a peanut, so like
Hmm.
they don't really know. So they think they can fly. So like when they see a wolf, right? They see a wolf, they're like, "Holy crap, we gotta fly away from the wolf!" So they'll run and flap their wings, and then when they put their neck in the sand, that feeling is when they think they're taking off in the air. You know what I mean?
Oh, what?
Yeah, so they do that and then the wolf eats them.
How do you know all this? Have you
I
said
I have
you've been
Asperger's
studying?
syndrome, so I know a lot about ostriches.
Okay. I like emus.
Oh, those
Yeah.
are
I
cool.
met yeah, they're similar to ostriches, I guess. Ostriches are fine. To me, I don't know that I've ever met an ostrich,
Yeah.
but I've met a couple of emus in my day, and they're very docile. They don't intimidate me at all. I mean, those legs of ostriches kind of scare me, but
Oh yeah, they're
uh,
deadly kicks.
yeah,
Like,
I would think
yeah,
so, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Holy lords. But yeah, bears are interesting too. Like I once escaped death with a bear. Like I was in Alaska doing stand-up comedy, and
Yeah.
I saw a polar bear, right? And I escaped death because I gave him a Coca-Cola.
Were they shooting the commercial at the time
Yeah,
or?
maybe. Uh, so I want to respect your time, but I have three more questions. Can I ask
Okay.
these real fast?
Of course.
S-
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, like, because you're a movie star, and then
Mhm.
during the time of being a movie star, like now movie stars are doing TV shows, and then the time when
Mhm.
you were in the star, like that was kind of frowned upon to do TV shows and movies. And I wanted to hear your opinion, like how do you think that that's good that the industry has changed like that, or do you think that there should still be movie stars and TV stars?
Yeah, I mean, there were you're right. I started out on a soap opera and I did some episodic junk, and then I got into, like, the first movie I did in LA was The Last Starfighter, and that established me as a movie actress. And you were discouraged to take on television roles, and I have to say I really regret that, because
Yeah.
there was some stuff that I just turned down that was offered to me that would have really catapulted me into the stratosphere, put it that way. So I really don't think that actors should be categorized one way or the other. I really don't. I mean, you look at actors in England and Britain and the UK, they do everything, and they just do it everything all the time, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, so it doesn't make sense. It was a weird thing to choose just movies because television would make you less than somehow. Because I did miss a couple of really good opportunities. Yeah.
Ah. And then what was one project that you turned down that after you turned it down, you instantly regretted it?
Well, I didn't instantly regret it. I was just
Oh,
sort of like, that's what I was being told to do, until years later I was like, oh, I should have done that because that person was in the I don't really want to say what it was, frankly. But
Jurassic Park?
yeah, the TV show Jurassic Park. No, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it really was misguided, I think.
Yeah. All
That sort of
right.
attitude. Yeah.
Agents and managers, right? The
Yeah.
whole yeah. I always think that they're kind of funny. Like I have an agent and I have a manager and they always tell me what to do and I don't do it because like they're like not to brag or anything, but I'm the talent. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I know what I could do and what I can't do. I could
Yeah.
never do an adult video to save my life. So why am I going
Mhm.
for these auditions?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think you should change your representation if they're sending you up for adult movies or whatever
Well,
it is.
but I
I
was
know it can be frustrating, but I mean, they're sort of the middleman, that their job obviously is to be aware of what's out there, so you don't have to worry about doing that. And then supposedly they negotiate well for you and stuff like that. But I have to agree, sometimes there are projects that come to me that I'm like, really?
uh,
And yeah,
uh,
I'll say, yeah, no.
well, you could say it because I did pitch something to your reps. It was called My Date with Catherine Mary Stewart, and I know you kind of rejected that. But
Oh, no way. I don't remember that one.
but it
I'll
was
have to
so
dig into
great.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet. I bet it was.
And then my last question for you is if you were a Ben and Jerry's ice cream flavor,
Oh.
what would you be and what would you call yourself?
Ooh, wowee. You should have prepared me with this question because I could have come up with something. Let's see. Oh, one of my favorites. It's not Ben and Jerry's. I'm not even familiar with all the Ben and Jerry's names. I love rum raisins. So let's see. Um, oh God. Catherine Stewart's raisins. I don't know.
Whoa, that's a great name. Rum raisins, like is it vanilla ice cream or chocolate
Yeah,
ice?
well, it's kind of it's vanilla that's infused with rum.
Nice. So you have to be
Hmm.
21 or older to eat it.
Yeah, oh yeah. That
Uh-huh.
would be even better. I mean, Haagen-Dazs has rum raisin, which I really like, but it'd be better if you'd had to be 21 because it'd be really rummy. Catherine's rummy raisin delights. Or I don't
Uh,
know.
well, where can the folks at home follow and support you?
Yeah. Well, I'm on all the socials. Everything is at Catherine Mary Stewart, except for X, which is Catherine Mary Stewart was too long, tag or whatever they call it. So it's CMSALL. But I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and yeah, I'm a little bit on X, not
Ah,
terribly much.
all right.
And also
Well,
I have a website that's catherinemarystewart.com.
oh,
And
nice.
I have on the website, if you go to the fans drop down menu, you can look at photos and purchase a photo if you want to, a signed photo.
Oh, nice. That'd
And
be
also
cool.
I have some oh I also have an eBay thing, which is it's called Very Catherine Mary. And there's just a bunch of items on there, and my plan is to incorporate more movie memorabilia into all those things too. So yeah, but have a look. I have stuff on eBay. We're trying to whittle down what we have because we're in a smaller place and we have a lot of stuff in storage. So I mean, if you're interested at all in looking at things that have been owned by me in the past,
That would
not
be such a great thing,
necessarily
though.
not necessarily movie memorabilia, but I'm going to include some of that stuff. I
Will
don't have
you
a ton of
sign
stuff, but
it?
it's fun. Oh,
Sign,
absolutely.
sign that cabinet. Be like, I own this cabinet.
Yeah, exactly.
So Catherine, we gotta go back to the first question. Which one do you prefer, being interviewed by a fanboy or a celebrity?
Well, you're kind of a combo, and I think that's the deluxe version. So I'm happy
Ah,
with that.
awesome. Well, Catherine, thank you so much for doing my podcast. It really means a lot to me, and I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
And good luck with the horse script. I'm rooting for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a little piece of my heart, you know.
Yeah. Well,
So we'll see what happens.
I know how that feels because I'm writing an ostrich script.
Well, yeah, I get it. So we can relate.
Exactly. All right, Rifters. That's the show. Subscribe, rate, review. Follow Catherine Mary Stewart everywhere. And we hope you enjoy this episode. And we'll see you guys next week on Reza Rifts.